After a long period of holding out from using AI, I finally decided to give it a go and see what it's like. My original experience with it was quite poor. The AI suggestions were rubbish, inaccurate, poorly coded, and not really adhering to the best practices or the style of the codebase. Tried it a few times and then permanently turned it off. That was maybe 6 to 12 months ago. I did have some work that was quite tedious but rather simple, and in the past I did have some success, I'll admit, using AI in these scenarios. It's basically brain dead coding, and I just decided to give it another go. The result this time actually shocked me. I smashed through the features I had to implement in record time and managed to crank out more code in a single sitting than I probably would have been able to do all day if I was doing it fully alone. I had strong coffee, some loud, fast paced music blasting, and I was well and truly flying through code, churning out diffs like a man possessed. It was exciting. I haven't really felt like this at work for a long time. But did I ultimately change my mind about AI? Is it now the godsend that everyone is out to make it? Is it here to replace us and steal our jobs? The answer is always much more complex than a simple yes or no. But before we get into it, just a quick reminder to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and to like the video. Alright, enough self-promotion, let's get back to it. I think fundamentally, at this particular point in time, my AI attitude is this. For me, it serves as the equivalent of power mode on a car, when you really need that extra bit of juice and want to really push the pedal and fly forwards quickly. But just like when driving, you don't want to be pushing the accelerator when the road is bendy, windy, or tricky. You're going to lose control and probably crash. Just go ahead for the straight roads, the easy roads where all you need to do is set the cruise control and carry on forwards. This is where it excels. When the features are simple enough that you don't really need to think and instead you just need to move your fingers, then this is great. It's tedious, repetitive work, it doesn't really require much brain power. This is where one can really squeeze the most out of AI. Let it do the boring parts for you and move you along. Get you away from the boring bits and working on the actual challenging parts of the code that requires your full focus and concentration. But if there exists this clear-cut distinction between when AI is good and when it's maybe better to just switch it off, why have the video be titled The Poison Chalice? How can we ultimately end up worse if we start leveraging AI like every other org leader is constantly pushing and shouting at us to do so? The first and most fundamentally problematic issue is that the more you use AI, the less of the coding you're actually doing yourself. Duh, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to spot this. But the problem here is that without doing it yourself, you rob yourself of the muscle memory that comes with coding, the mental understanding and neural pathways that get built when you're sitting there trying to figure out how to make this particular piece of code do what you need it to do. The problem-solving muscle. The more you lean on AI, the faster you'll churn out code, yes, but the more that muscle will atrophy. For industry veterans, this is not really that much of an issue. You've either had so much experience under your belt that you'll never forget how to do it, similar to like riding a bicycle, or you're now senior enough that you aren't really hands-on with the code, so it doesn't matter. Either way, these people will be fine. For me, the worry here is for the interns, juniors, or mid-level engineers who are now coming into the fray in the age of AI, where everyone is constantly harping on us to use AI and how much faster it's going to make you to ship code. But here's where the poison chalice actually comes in. On one hand, yes, you get your work done faster and you crank out more output. But on the other hand, you lose the ability to think for yourself and develop actual deep knowledge of your particular tech stack. Plus, without that experience, it makes it very difficult to verify that what the AI is actually spitting out is correct. We all know how confidently and assuredly AI spits out code where, in reality, it can be a complete nothing burger. Without that banked experience, it's often hard to tell the subtle difference between right and wrong code. I recall a study out there that was saying that for most developers, AI is actually slowing them down in the grand scheme of things because they have to debug the generated code and then fix the ticking time bombs that AI eventually ships and then gets through code review. I go back to my original anecdote of only trying to use this for very straightforward and trivial tasks where it's easy to verify the accuracy of the code and ultimately just saving myself the typing. The second point here affects all of us, regardless of level. It's a given that leadership have tracking mechanisms in order to monitor AI usage, and they are charting this out in real time with some high-level dashboards, breaking down AI usage overall, across orgs, by level, tenure, and any other granularity under the sun. They know the lines of code that are AI generated, they know the proportion of engineers using AI, they know the average diff count for engineers using it, and those that don't. My worry here is twofold. One, leadership will take all of this information and then just adjust the expectations for everyone. They'll say that with AI, engineers are now, let's just say, 25% more productive. Now, everyone should use AI, and that's what the new baseline will be, 25% higher. The bar will raise for everyone, and now it will become even more of a hunger game. The pressure will be even higher, and it's going to make our lives worse. The second item dovetails from the first. With a rise in expectations, we know that engineers are not actually going to start magically being more productive and shipping better code with AI. They're going to do what engineers do and start gaming the system. Cranking out tons of code, consequences be damned. Code quality, screw it. Best practices, out the window. Clean, organized code that's easy to maintain, forget about it, ain't nobody got time for that. In the pursuit of appeasing shareholders who just want to be told how much more efficient the company is using AI, we're going to start going down the path of just shipping crap and slop just to keep those numbers up and stay afloat. I don't really need to discuss how ultimately this will end in a shit show. Code written without much thought, best practices ignored, maintainability sounding like a word from a foreign language. Do you want to work in that code base? I don't. If we fundamentally think of the objectives of developers and leaderships, the goals are different. We as engineers want to solve challenging problems, to ship cool products or services, and ultimately get good performance reviews and a promotion here and there. Leadership wants to grow the business, be more efficient, report good news to shareholders, and ultimately make more money. Our objectives are not aligned. They essentially want to sweatshop, we want to do well in our careers. Of course, there is more nuance here, and I'm not saying that leadership don't have a vested interest in us doing well or vice versa, but at the root of it, when it comes to AI, they want to push it not because it's best for us as engineers, but because it's better for the business. They've realized that they can get a lot more out of engineers by giving them supercharged AI tools. They can spend less on new hires, replace less of the attrition, and squeeze more out of the people here. It's a no-brainer, but it's our job as engineers to realize this conflict of interest and protect ourselves. By all means, use AI, use it to unblock you, use it to generate code for simple, trivial problems, but don't become over-reliant on it. Don't let it replace critical thinking and problem-solving skills. At the end of the day, that's what you're being paid to do as a developer. Writing code is just the medium through which you do this. A robot can churn out code. It cannot think. It cannot understand context. It cannot understand conflicting team interests, differing priorities and objectives. That's on you. Use AI where you can, but don't become so reliant on it that you're useless without it. If you do, you won't grow. Don't back yourself into a corner willingly just because someone dangles this flashy carrot in front of your eyes and tells you that it can do parts of your job for you. Remember that there's no such thing as a free lunch. There is always a price to be paid, whether it's obvious to be or not. Paid upfront or in the end, there's always a cost and a trade-off to be mined, and keep this in mind. In closing, AI is here to stay. It's not going away. It's a fact of life now, but that doesn't mean that we need to turn our noses up at it. The car is fundamentally a superior mode of transport to horse-drawn carriages. But that doesn't mean that automobiles aren't dangerous. You can still cause serious harm to yourself or others. One final car analogy for you. Manual cars versus automatics. Automatics are much easier to operate. You don't have to deal with shifting gears, worrying about stalling, and what have you. It's a much more relaxed and simple experience for you as the driver. But you still need to know how to drive. You still need to know what the rules of the road are, how to judge speed and distance of oncoming vehicles, and everything else there is to driving. That part is still there. Let AI be the automatic transition to your SWE car. Make the most of the benefits it gives you, but don't forget the fundamentals of being a SWE haven't changed. You still need to know how to drive, so to speak. And with that, I think this is a good place to stop. It will be interesting to return to the topic in future videos and re-examine my position and see how it's evolved over time as I use AI more and more. What changes in the industry lie ahead of us, nobody knows. This is a constantly changing technological landscape. Certainly a very interesting and exciting time to be a developer. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you in the next one.